Unlocking Self-Understanding with Alain De Botton's Insights. Are you ready to peel back the layers of your own psyche and discover the hidden treasures within? Let me tell you this, the journey towards self-understanding can be both challenging and exhilarating. Today, we're diving into the world of Alain De Botton, a philosopher who has dedicated his life to exploring human nature and guiding us through our emotional landscapes. You might be wondering, how does he help us unlock the mysteries of our minds? Here's something you should know: Alain De Botton's insights are not just philosophical musings. They are practical tools designed to help us navigate life's complexities more gracefully. To begin our exploration, let's consider a common scenario. When you find yourself feeling stuck in a rut, unsure of why you feel the way you do, or even questioning your very purpose. It's at these moments that we often turn to books like The Architecture of Happiness by Alain De Botton. In this book, he delves into the concept of happiness through the lens of architecture, suggesting that our lives are shaped by the buildings and spaces we inhabit. He argues that our environment profoundly influences our mood and behavior, much like how a well-designed room can make us feel happy and productive. Now, imagine if we applied this philosophy to ourselves. How can we create a better environment for our minds? One of the keys to unlocking self-understanding is to cultivate a space where we can reflect and introspect. Alain De Botton suggests setting aside time each day for quiet reflection. This could be anything from meditating, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. He writes, to truly understand oneself, one must first become acquainted with one's inner world, and this requires a degree of solitude and quiet contemplation. By creating this space, we give ourselves permission to explore our thoughts and feelings without distraction. Let's take a moment to reflect on a personal anecdote. I remember a particularly stressful period in my career when I felt overwhelmed and lost. I found myself constantly comparing my achievements to others, which only added to my anxiety. One day, I decided to carve out an hour each morning for meditation. Initially, it was difficult to sit still and focus, but slowly, I began to notice subtle changes. My mind became clearer, and I started to see things more objectively. Over time, this practice helped me regain my balance and find peace amidst chaos. Alain De Botton emphasizes that self-understanding is not a destination but a continuous journey. It involves acknowledging our flaws, learning from our mistakes, and embracing our imperfections. A profound lesson from his writings is the importance of forgiveness. We all have a tendency to hold grudges, especially against ourselves. However, De Botton argues that forgiving ourselves is crucial for emotional healing. He writes, forgiveness is not about excusing ourselves, but about releasing the burden of guilt that weighs us down. In my own life, I've found this to be incredibly liberating. For years, I held on to grudges over past decisions that didn't work out. But when I decided to forgive myself for those choices, I noticed a significant shift in my mindset. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I focused on what I learned and grew from those experiences. This process of forgiveness has allowed me to move forward with greater resilience and optimism. Another critical aspect of self-understanding, according to Alain De Botton, is the cultivation of empathy. He argues that understanding others helps us understand ourselves better. Through his book, How Proust Can Save Your Life, De Botton explores how reading and engaging with literature can deepen our empathy and insight. He believes that by stepping into the shoes of characters, we gain a deeper appreciation for human emotions and behaviors. This, in turn, enriches our capacity to connect with others and ourselves. To illustrate this point, consider a scenario where you're feeling misunderstood or isolated. Perhaps you've made a mistake, and instead of being supportive, people around you seem distant or judgmental. When you read a novel that portrays characters dealing with similar issues, you might suddenly realize that your feelings aren't unique. Empathy allows us to see ourselves in others, fostering a sense of belonging and connection. For instance, during a particularly tough time in my life, I picked up a book about a character who struggled with addiction. As I read, I couldn't help but feel a sense of kinship. I realized that while my situation was different, the underlying emotions were remarkably similar. This realization brought a sense of comfort and validation, helping me to cope with my own challenges more effectively. In conclusion, Alain De Botton's insights offer a powerful framework for unlocking self-understanding. They encourage us to create a nurturing environment for our minds, embrace our imperfections, and cultivate empathy. These practices, rooted in philosophy and grounded in personal experience, can transform our lives by helping us navigate the complexities of our emotions and relationships. So here's the challenge. Take a step today towards self-discovery. Whether it's dedicating a few minutes each day to reflection, practicing forgiveness, or immersing yourself in literature, these small steps can lead to profound changes. Remember, the journey towards self-understanding is ongoing, and every moment spent on this path is a step towards becoming the best version of yourself. Embrace this adventure and let it guide you through the labyrinth of your own psyche. Here's to unlocking the mysteries within.